Fox Sports.
After dropping 7 of their last 8 against the Royals, the White Sox were ready last night, hitting 3 home runs and holding the Royals to 2 runs. Tonight, they face Bruce Chen, who has beaten the Sox 5 times in the last 2 seasons. Royals baseball is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium for Game 2 between the Royals and the first-place White Sox after Chicago's 3-2 win last night. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. It was supposed to be Luis Mendoza against Chris Sale for the 4th time this year, but Mendoza has strep throat, so Bruce Chen will fill in. And Bruce, in his first 10 appearances against the White Sox, didn't have one single win. But Rex Hudler, now in his last 9, he has 5 wins against Chicago. Why has that been such a good matchup for him?
He has the ability to speed their bats up and slow them down. And this is a predominantly fastball hitting team, especially all their right-handers that Bruce will be facing. Now, he's had success because he's been raising eye levels. He's been mixing up his breaking ball. You see Przynski. You see all their hitters there, even Dunn. When you keep the ball out of the middle, you're a much better player. And when you use your defense like Moose has been playing out there, you're even better. So pitching and defense go hand in hand. Bruce got to keep the ball in the park.
And despite the loss last night, it's still been a very good year for the Royals against the first-place Sox with a season series record of 10-6. Royals baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. By the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. Joel and Monty will talk 17-game winner Chris Sale when we come back.
3 highest hit games he's had all year have been against the Royals, although he has been good against Kansas City. Joel Goldberg joined by Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. So, what do we expect from Sale tonight and the Royals going up against him?
Well, Joe, just a little over 2 years ago, Chris Sale was drafted in the first round by the Chicago White Sox. Fast forward to today, he's now a Cy Young candidate. He's been an all-star this year, and he's looking to take these White Sox into postseason. The Royals have done well against him. They have 2 of his 6 losses accounted for against Chris Sale this year.
He also has won 3 games against them. It is Ned Yost's Royals against the first-place White Sox. Chris Sale and Bruce Chen at the K. Ryan and Rex have the call next.
Definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Game 1 going to the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are second in the major leagues with 195 home runs. They hit 3 more last night, but all were solo home runs. They only scored 3 runs, but that was enough to take Game 1 3-2. And tonight they will be facing Bruce Chen for the 5th time this year, and Bruce faced the White Sox just 11 days ago.
Okay, it's up to Bruce to make sure that he's changing his speeds. He's got a fastball that he can use, and we've seen it up to 89 miles an hour. So he's going to speed the bats up with that, slow him down with his secondary pitches. Keep him off balance, especially the righties who have hit 25 home runs out of his 31. 6 to left-handers. So he's facing 75% of lineups this year, all right-handed.
And De Aza goes the other way. He opened the game with a base hit last night as well. It was a home run on the second pitch of the game, and now on the second pitch of the game tonight, a single to left field. As we look at the Royals defensively, brought to you by Ford.
They got to have those guys in the outfield. Bourgeois is getting a start in center field, and Johnny Giavatella's 39th start at second base. He's looked much more comfortable out there in his last 10-15 starts. You see Bourgeois out there getting another chance to cover the ground here at the K. Bruce pitches to contact, and it's important for him to keep the balls down. And he's got like 6 or 7 pitches, different arm angles. He changes speeds. He's a craftsman.
Two balls, no strikes to Kevin Youkilis, who was 0 for 4 last night and just 3 out of 31 against the Royals.
Okay, Bruce does a good job of holding runners if they do think about stealing. Now, I think Robin Ventura would much rather play it safe and not try to steal guys when Bruce has given up so many home runs. So they don't want to take a chance of getting a guy thrown out, especially with Salvador Perez. So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of his guys going.
And De Aza is a threat. He has stolen 24, but he's been thrown out 10 times, which is the second most in the league.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I just don't know if Robin Ventura is willing to sacrifice an out there when he's got some pretty good bats here at the top of the order.
White Sox did not attempt a stolen base last night. In fact, when the Royals were in Chicago a couple of weekends ago, in the 3-game series, the White Sox didn't attempt a single stolen base. So they know. But fastball is inside, 3-1 on Youkilis.
Fastball, slider, change, curve. Okay, 4 basic pitches. You throw in 3 different arm angles, and you throw in change of speeds off of his fastball, and that makes him a guy that you cannot guess on. You have to zone a guy like Bruce Chin. Got to look out over the middle.
De Aza runs. It's a strike, and De Aza is out. And Youkilis is mad at himself as he spun away in frustration after the pitch, realizing that he kind of hung De Aza out to dry.
Yep. Would have liked to swing on that, but like I said, you take a chance, and he wasn't even looking like he was going full speed there. So maybe Youkilis missed a hit and run or something. They got him by plenty.
And now Youkilis strikes out, so that's an altogether frustrating at bat for him. And now he's chewing on Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire. 2 outs.
Okay, see, that takes him right out of the inning. Get a leadoff single, you get him thrown out, now you strike him out, and they're going to rely on a long ball from Dunn.
And now you bring him up. He has 39 home runs, but the best he can do here is drive in 1 if he hits it out of the ballpark.
Exactly.
And he hits it hard to Hosmer. He'll go to the bag himself. Only 3 come to the plate against Chen in the first, who throws 9 pitches. No score. It's 79 degrees at first pitch. The game started right on time at 7:10, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot at KCI. Well, the Royals could have their hands full tonight. They're facing 17-game winner Chris Sale. Here's the lineup. Jason Bourgeois, who's been very good the last 2 years against left-hand pitching. He'll lead off in center field. Johnny Giavotella returns to the starting lineup tonight. He'll bat 9th and is at second base. So Chris Sale 17-6, but 2 of those 6 losses have come against the Royals.
He's a tall drink of water, 6'6", 180 pounds, but he's got some really nice stuff. You see what he's done. Balls, only 44 walks, 173 strikeouts. That's an excellent ratio. And the fact that the opponents in the league are only hitting 222 off him, that tells you that he's not easy to square up. That's 4th best in the American League, that opponent's average. He's got some pretty good pitches, fastball, a slurvy good curve, and an excellent changeup that he'll use at any time. And he's got that funky arm angle, and the deception that goes along with his delivery sometimes can be tough to pick up the pitch.
Bourgeois had 1 at-bat last night. He was 0 for 1. He's hitting .344 this year against lefties. Last year with the Astros, he hit .396 against left-hand pitching. Takes a fastball away, 2-2.
Ned Yost, love to see him get on the bases. He's running really well. He's very quick. He's got good speed. Giving Bourgeois a good look at lefties.
Toward right center field. Rios for a moment lost it in the lights, but is able to find it for the first out. All right, the White Sox defensively tonight, presented by Ford.
Okay, this is a good fielding team. 2nd best fielding percentage in the American League for sure. They're good. Paul Konerko is looking good over there at first base. He never misses hardly at all. But Tyler Flowers is going to be the catcher tonight, not A.J. Pierzynski. It's his 38th start behind the plate. Does an adequate job. 31% caught stealing. He handles the running game a little bit better than A.J. Although A.J. is more offensive, Robin Ventura is looking for spots to give some of his guys a rest.
And there's a solid base hit into center field. Escobar has just worn a hole in the White Sox this year, but he was 0 for 4 last night and bounces back tonight with a 1st inning single against Chris Sale.
Okay, ball's out over the middle. Get hit. Esky went right with it. Just picks up his foot and sets it down. Good control there with his swing. That front foot will determine lots of times if you're going to be off balance or not.
And that was a record-breaking hit for Alcides Escobar. That was his 165th hit of the year. And that's a new single-season record for a Royals shortstop. And he gets a little congratulations from Paul Konerko. Don't know if Escobar was even aware of that.
Doesn't even care. Just wants to win. Wants to go out and attack. Right now, he wants to pressure Flowers, the catcher, and Sale.
And Sale, with all those moving parts and that unorthodox delivery, it takes him a while to unload the pitch. And if the Royals get a good jump against him, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Flowers.
It will. Now, new bench coach for Robin Ventura this year, Mark Parent, a former catcher, has done a good job with these pitchers this year, making them aware of the runners and holding the ball longer and slide stepping home and giving catcher a little bit of help. Because after all, that runner at first base is a potential earned run for Sale. So that's his run out there. Mark Parent, there he is, giving the signs to Flowers.
Now that's a sign as to whether they're going to pitch out or throw to first, right? That's not the sign as what pitch Sale is going to throw.
No, they call their own games, but the bench does control the running aspect, and whether to pitch out, whether a throw over for a pickoff move, or whether just a hold. Okay, you saw him use both hands. If you use one hand, the opponents can pick up what you're doing. You use two hands, they don't know exactly what those signs are, and they keep an eye on it. Because it's a cat and mouse game. In the American League, there's not a whole lot of managing strategies because there's no pitchers don't hit, and they don't have to worry about pinch hitters or anything like that, but they do try to outsmart the other guy. When's he going to run? If he's going to run, we're going to pitch out. Try to mix and match. And you watch the catcher, sometimes he'll give the sign, it's obvious sign to throw over to first base.
Going to try and put him away with a slider. It stayed up. Alex cracked his bat, but he muscles it through the right side. Escobar is going to run on Rios, and he'll go first to third.
Ball just had enough to get by Gordon Beckham. You mentioned you could hear the crack of the bat. Just another Gordon bat that dies a hero. That's a good hard charge by Escobar too to pressure Rios, the right fielder, who thought about throwing it, but then he left it alone. Speed puts pressure on defense, and what Ned Yost has in this Kansas City Royals team is a bunch of guys that can run. And he puts on that hit and run, he steals a guy. I mean, the defense is always on their toes, and sometimes that causes mistakes.
Fouled away by Billy. Going after the first pitch. Tonight's Toyota League leaders. Home runs against left-hand pitching this year in the American League. Adam Dunn, a left-hand batter, as well as Curtis Granderson, hanging in well against the lefties. And there's Billy Butler, who is 5th in the league with 11 out of his 27 home runs this season.
And he's always been strong average against. 342 against lefties. He's taken Sale deep 3 times in his career, 2 this year. Just a sac fly will do for Billy, but he always wants more. Most hitters do. Okay, flashback. August 17th. Tried to come in there, little cutter inside. It was already elevated. All Billy had to do was put a level swing on it. Looking for the same thing.
Look at the break on that pitch.
That's a back door, man. That started 2 feet off the plate outside.
Well, that started in somebody else's yard and came through the back door.
Yeah, it did. Look at that. That's called a bender, man. That's a real bender. Gordon, he's not a blazer, but he will rip you off if you let him. He's got 10 stolen bases, been caught 5 times.
And he got him to chase a pitch down and in, and a strikeout. Sales first. 2 down in the first inning.
He stayed with that breaking ball. Again, this one was even tougher to hit because it was down. Fooled it.
So it'll be Salvador Perez with runners at the corners and 2 down. Sal is 5 out of 13 against Sale. Got the call from Tim Timmons. You know, this is a story that's been way more below the radar than Steven Strasburg. But Chris Sale, he's not coming off a serious injury like Strasburg was, but he's going from the bullpen to the rotation. And the White Sox thought he'd pitch about 150 to 160 innings this year. And tonight, in the first inning, he's beginning his 176th inning of the season, so he's far surpassed that, and there really are no plans from this point until the end of the regular year and into the playoffs for them to skip him or hold him back at all.
Nope, haven't heard any of that.
Chopped out to Ramirez, and the White Sox get the force at second base. So the strikeout of Butler was a big out for Sale, and the Royals strand 2 in the first. series, the Royals and the White Sox, and it's our another Frenchie Quarter. $21 gets you a seat in the right field cheering section, a limited edition Frenchie Quarter t-shirt, and Mardi Gras beads. And this will be the last Frenchie Quarter of the season, so get your tickets now at Royals.com/Frenchie. Bruce Chen gave up a leadoff single in the first inning, and then De Aza was caught stealing. Bruce only faced 3. So Paul Konerko comes up with nobody on base and takes a strike. Konerko was hitless last night, 0 for 3 with a walk. We brought this up last night, and I don't remember seeing this when the Royals were in Chicago during the last road trip, but several White Sox in this series are sporting a mustache, especially guys like Konerko. I've never noticed that before, and there is a meaning behind it, and a very sentimental meaning. The White Sox lost a member of their family, and that's Kevin Hickey's jersey. He was one of the White Sox coaches, a former big league player for 5 years, and he passed away suddenly in May. He was just 56 years old. Very popular with the players, from the Chicago area. And the players used to tease Kevin Hickey about his big mustache. And so while the White Sox are looking for a late season push to win the Central Division, they are growing mustaches in honor of Kevin Hickey and hoping there's some magic in that.
Yeah, and talking with Robin Ventura today about what are some of the unexpected and the hardest things that you've had to deal with this year. And without thinking about Kevin Hickey, he told me dealing with the loss of one of my coaches is something you never planned for. And in my first year, it became a team thing. You know, it was very, very hard.
Konerko drives it into left center, but Bourgeois on the edge of the track makes the play. 1 down in the second.
And you know that you never prepare for anything like that. Families don't, teams don't. The loss of a guy, and especially early in the season like that. So they've been able to rally behind the memory of Kevin Hickey. And Robin Ventura in his first year as a manager talked about the difficulties of controlling the pitching staff and handling the pitching game as well. And he said that he really has to rely on Donnie Cooper, his pitching coach, to see this time of year especially who's got enough left in their tank, who's, you know, when do I pull them, when do I leave them in, who do I go to the pin with. All those things, he said, has been a challenge for him, and he's managed it very well.
And it takes the right personality to be humble enough to defer to the other coaches and realize that, at least at this point in his managerial career, that's not one of his strengths. And not being a former pitcher, it's a little more challenging to identify when a pitcher's running out of gas.
But he has communication skills.
Rios hits it into the left field corner, and that'll be up against the wall. So Alex Rios, who had a long home run to left field last night, his 24th of the year. Now he's at second base with his 35th double.
Kay Gordon, he takes a lot of pride in these balls off the wall. He likes to throw guys out. He manipulates the corner here at the K better than anybody.
And now Diane Viciedo, who was not in the lineup last night. Dwayne Wise was. He played in center field. So De Aza was in left. Now De Aza back in center, and Viciedo, who has 21 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, they're getting a season out of him that they weren't expecting. They know he's a good contact hitter and he's got a little bit of power, but he's been very consistent, especially when it comes to driving runs in. Hitting that 6th spot. 298 average with runner in scoring position.
Good pitch in on the hands. Tough play for Hosmer, and couldn't quite get there.
That was a long sprint. puts his head down and runs to the place where the ball thinks is going to come down. You go ahead and do all you can. Couldn't quite line it up.
Bruce is 2-1 against the White Sox this year. That's in 4 starts. Last year he was 3-1 against the Sox, and his earned run average was 1.89. His ERA is much higher this year, and he has been hurt by the home run. As Vicioso hits it hard but foul into the seats off to the left field side. And Bruce's 24 2/3 innings against Chicago this year, he's given up 8 home runs. But the White Sox have been hitting home runs against everybody. They're second in the major leagues with 195. Got him to chase a pitch way up and away. Second strikeout for Bruce Chen. 2 down in the second.
Okay, it's up to Bruce to speed him up and slow him down. That's what I'm talking about. He sped him up there at 89. And the ball was by him. It was like 95. That's what I mean by speeding him up and slowing him down. And you know, he faces a lot of righties. You mentioned that. So get it right. 75% of the lineups Bruce faces are all right-handed. Keep him dry. He's given up, you mentioned, 25 home runs to righties. No fountain balls. 7 starts. A south side slide, maybe. He's been good at the K here. He's looking for win number 7 here at the K tonight. So he wants to put them down and give his teammates a chance to win the series tomorrow. Keep them dry. No fountain balls.
And Ramirez pops it up. So Rios hits a 1-out double. That's all the White Sox get. 2 scoreless innings for Bruce Chen, and no score to the bottom of the second. Independence, Missouri. Judy is a first responder for the Humane Society and has been to 3 disaster locations to help rescue animals. She's also worked at Chain of Hope for the past 4 years, which is a local animal rescue group. In addition, she spends each Friday at Wayside Waifs and each Saturday at Petco, helping with pet adoption programs. So, to say the very least, Judy Kearns is an animal lover. And tonight enjoying the game from the Buck O'Neill Legacy seat and looking over Art Stewart's shoulder and trying to get a scouting report on Chris Sale.
You could learn anything and everything about baseball if you just ask Art Stewart. He'll be happy to tell you stories. Now in game, I don't know. He's busy scouting. That guy is a Royals machine. He knows the Royals loves him inside and out. Baseball is his life, and he's got some of the greatest stories. His memory is brilliant. He tells you stories. I like his Bo Jackson stories. If you ever get a chance to ask him about Bo, man, talked about how he scouted him, how they acquired him. Classy man.
Mike Moustakas, Jeff Francoeur, Eric Hosmer coming up in the second inning. Two balls, two strikes from Sale.
You know, Mike Trout was just in town with the Angels, and Socia was talking about a couple of guys, maybe Mickey Mantle, a few guys that he reminded him of, and I haven't heard anybody mention Bo Jackson in a comparison with Mike Trout. But as far as power and speed go, now they have different bodies. Bo was a lot bigger, a lot thicker. Man, Bo was the best athlete I played with.
A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Strike two, Jeff Francoeur. Bo Jackson in between, playing with the Royals and finishing up with the Angels, where you were teammates, played with the Chicago White Sox.
Right, him, Dave Winfield, Ozzie Smith, Cal Ripken, those are some of the best athletes. Oh, I forgot Ricky Henderson. Those guys could do it all.
And now Francoeur is down on strikes, and Sale has two down in the bottom of the second inning. Well, Chris Sale was excellent out of the bullpen for the White Sox last year. He was the White Sox first-round pick in 2010, but still a bit of a question mark moving into the rotation. These are the top turnarounds in Major League history. Most wins 1 year after making no starts the previous year. Chris Sale is tied for fourth on that list. Matt Morris, now I'm assuming that's after injury. Roy Face. You're a big Roy Face fan, weren't you?
Yeah, loved his face.
And then Chris Sale tied with Ryan Dempster. That was the year that Dempster went from closer back to the starting rotation. 23 years old. We discussed this last night. The White Sox, under their current general manager Kenny Williams, who's been there for a long time, they do not shy away from advancing a player quickly through the system if they believe that player can help them. And Chris Sale got to the big leagues the same year he was drafted. Kenny Williams is here tonight. First round pick in 2010. He made 11 minor league appearances that year and then was in the big leagues. And now he has 17 wins in his third big league season. No score at the end of two. Royals and the White Sox, joined by George Brett. We're going to talk Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp. But first, you and Hud were catching up. You've got your KU shirt on tonight. You guys have that in common.
Close up.
Yep.
Right there.
He's got a freshman daughter there in a sorority.
That's right.
And I got a son at the Jayhawk Towers.
So those 3 little boys that used to run around
Two
here,
are gone.
2 are in college
2 are
now.
gone, yeah.
Wow. How does that feel?
It's real quiet in the house.
Yeah.
It's real lonely, too.
And they're all, what, three boys in 4 years, right? I mean, very close in
We
age.
have a sophomore in college, a freshman in college, and a junior in high school.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp, and we're running out of time to talk about it because 2 weeks from tonight, the season's going to be over. And so we're running out of opportunities to talk about all the great things that go on at Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp. And one of the biggest questions that comes up every year, I'm told by Dina Blevins, is George Brett going to be at Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp? And the answer is?
I am going to be there.
Good.
There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, this year it's earlier, January or February. When is it?
14th to the 18th of January.
Of January, yeah. The weather will still be good. It's a good time. It's like me when I leave here to go to spring training in February and March. It's a good time to be gone. Any time to go to Arizona is a good time. And this year, the middle of January, you go there and put on a baseball uniform. You play baseball. You get to meet a lot of the alumni. But you know what I've noticed more than anything, Ryan and Rex? And have you ever been to an Angel Fantasy Camp?
Oh, yeah. St. Louis.
I mean, St. Louis.
Yep. Angels.
It is the players that sign up. You might not know many people that go there. If you're a signee, you sign up to go to fantasy camp. But the players or the other guys that sign up from all over Kansas City, from all over the country, basically, you're friends for life. And that's what makes it so special. We get guys on our team that don't know each other, and I've had a lot of guys on my team every year. The same guys sign up for my team, but it is a lot of fun. I don't know who has more fun, the players that sign up or the alumni at Kansas City. But there's a lot of baseball. There's a lot of sitting around telling stories. There's a lot of beer drinking and lying and bragging, and it's just a lot of fun.
George, at the end, did the campers play the pros?
The campers play the pros, and
is there a camper out there that's gotten you out before?
Oh yeah, I've striken out in that game before.
Wow.
Or is that struck out? I've struck out or striken out?
Now that your kids are in college, we better go with struck out.
Okay, I've struck out in that game. I've gotten some hits and hit a couple one-hoppers off the second baseman's shins and stuff like that. But it's all in fun.
How about that guy there?
That is John Wathen. He's one of my coaches, and this year Jason Kendall's going to be one of my coaches also. So we're looking forward to it. We really are.
You've got 2 catchers, ex-catchers on your staff.
And you know what catchers, are known for? Managing. So I got 2 guys that help me manage. And it's fun, and everybody plays. If you come and you say, I want to play shortstop, go play shortstop. We don't care if you can play shortstop or not. We're not going to just put a guy in right field because he's not very good. I basically set the lineup, and whoever makes the last out, the next guy leads off the next game. So everybody gets the same amount of at-bats.
Do you play
and
double?
I tell them where to go play the first inning. And after that, I said, guys, we usually have 2 guys sitting out. So I say, okay, you guys are on your own. If you've sat out an inning or 2 innings, go in and play anywhere you want. Just kind of police that yourselves. And the guys really enjoy that. They have a good time.
Piazza has his second hit tonight. He triples with 2 down. No score in the top of the 3rd inning. And as you're talking about that, I would think for some fans who grew up watching you play, it'd be a little intimidating to go to Alumni Fantasy Camp with you and other former Royals. But it really doesn't matter about your level of skill, right?
No.
I mean, everybody's going to have a good time.
The worse you are, the more fun you have, because everybody gets on you. And I've had some guys on my team, and their nicknames, we give out pretty good nicknames, and some of our nicknames that we give out to some of my players that I've had in the past, you can't say on TV. You can't say them on TV.
But they'll never forget it for the rest of their life.
No, and they never forget it. In fact, I call this one guy at his office once in a while, and I ask for him by the name, and the receptionist just starts laughing.
1 strike on Kevin Youkilis. And he grounds it to Mike Moustakas. Well, let's see. How many pitches did that take us? That's actually a long inning, considering your standards when you're in the booth. But thanks for stopping by.
Okay. Good seeing you
Thanks,
guys.
George.
All right.
Great to see you, buddy.
No score to the bottom of the 3rd.
Goldberg back as Chris Sale returns to the mound. And interesting today, guys, talking with A.J. Pierzynski, and he's not catching Sale today, but Pierzynski, while maybe not loved by too many fans around baseball, all over baseball, one of the more astute guys and really knows the game. And I was asking him about Sale, what he's seen, and he said, you know, he came into this year as a guy that we didn't know a whole lot about, certainly as a starter, didn't know what to expect. He didn't know what to expect. But at this point, he's a guy that knows how to pace himself better. He changes speeds on everything. And he has kept his mouth shut and done what has been asked of him, which is, of course, always very important for a young guy, very well respected in there. And then I said, who does he remind you of? Give me a guy that he compares to. And he said, well, a lot of people have said Randy Johnson, just not as tall, with how unconventional and funky he is. But then he said, in a way, he reminds me, intangible-wise, of Johan Santana, who Pierzynski caught in Minnesota, because he said, when Santana got to Minnesota, he was a Rule 5, started out in the bullpen, and he said we didn't know a whole lot about him, and he became one of the best pitchers in baseball. Same thing, not a Rule 5, but Chris Sale starting for the first time, didn't know a whole lot about him, and now a Cy Young candidate.
And Johnny Giavotella lines it foul off to the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the league's still trying to figure him out. 17 wins. He has the second best ERA in the league, 2.78. He has the 8th most strikeouts, and he has the 4th best opponent's batting average.
All right. Tough to hit. Unconventional. That's a big word, but that means that not typical. You don't see a guy with that kind of funky delivery very often.
Certainly something you wouldn't teach a young pitcher, just something that comes naturally for him, and it's worked. Giavotella fouls out to first.
Also, Sale's looking to become the first White Sox starter to win 18 games since John Garland did in 06. So it doesn't happen all the time for a White Sox pitcher to win that many games.
And now second time through for the Royals, Jason Bourgeois, who's leading off tonight, and he flied to right, and now he grounds it over Youkilis at third and into left field for a 1-out single.
Okay, second time through the order now. Doesn't waste any time. He finds a bouncing hole to the left there, right by Youkilis. 2-hopper with topspin.
And now Escobar, he's singled to center in the first inning. We were talking last inning when Sale was pitching about how many young players move quickly through the White Sox system. And in recent years, the White Sox have been in contention more years than they haven't. And it's interesting, it's not just high round picks like Chris Sale or Addison Reed, would be a couple of examples of guys who have moved quickly through the system, but even somebody like Mark Burley. People forgotten because Burley's been around so long and he's been so successful, but Mark Burley was a 38th round draft pick in 1999. He was in the big leagues in 2000. And so, talking about unconventional, the White Sox are a little bit in that way, where if they believe a guy can help them at the major league level, they don't seem to concern themselves like other organizations do about whether is it too soon for him to be in the big leagues. 1-1 on Escobar.
Every team has their own certain policies. Some guys, look, if we feel like you can get big league hitters out and you can help our team, we want you.
One and two on Escobar.
Okay, now that's that slider he's been working, that slurvy curveball that he's using. It starts way out there. Now, when it's down like that, you got to try to lay off of it. But when you see it elevated up out of his release point, starting that far outside, and it's up, that's going to be a good pitch to hit. So usually second time around, you're able to recognize that.
Two balls, two strikes.
A lot of breaking balls for Escobar this time around. Gave him a fastball first time, and he stroked it up the middle. He's got a good changeup. Haven't seen him use it that often so far early in this one.
Off of Sale. It shoots straight up into the air. Beckham has no play. And I'm sure the White Sox are a bit concerned, and they'll take a look at Sale, but that really sounded like it got him on the shoe.
Yeah, look at Sale. He's trying to wave him off.
There was no crack, as if it was a bone, or a smack, as if it was muscle. It sounded like it got the back of his shoe.
Yeah, you could hear it up here, hitting his shoe. So Escobar, yeah, it hit the back of his heel. Escobar, man, would have had a clean single and probably moved Bourgeois over to third base on that, but at least he's able to get a knock.
And almost every time something like this happens, the trainer and the manager will want the pitcher to make one pitch just to prove to them that he's okay. But Sale says he's fine, and he doesn't require that one pitch. This is the last time Sale was here, and remember, he took that shot off of his thumb and then his midsection.
Yeah.
And was none too thrilled about it.
See if Gordon can get a big hit here. Hitting .237, 3 homers against lefties this year.
Fastball rides outside, ball 1. Alex was down 1-2 in the first inning and had a broken bat base hit to right.
Makes him 7 for 25 lifetime off Sale. Couple of doubles.
That pops out of Flowers' glove, but no advance. 2-0.
It's possible that you got 2 guys out there that can steal bases. They could try a double steal here. But Flowers, with a left-handed batter in the batter's box on the left side, has an easy target to throw to third to get Bourgeois. You're gonna have to get a big lead, and it's up to Escobar to watch Bourgeois. If he takes off, he's got to follow him.
Chopped off the plate and foul. 2-1.
Imagine how hard it is for a left-handed batter to stay closed up on that with that big curveball. It's hard for righties to pick that up. Well, that's when he'll probably be trying to get Gordon out with. Big breaking ball.
Bourgeois, for a moment, thought he had a huge break, and Sale didn't go to the plate, so he had to scramble back to second base. Back-to-back singles by Bourgeois and Escobar with 1 out. Alex had a pretty good swing and fouls it back. 2-2. Yeah, to your point, Sale is a heavy lift for both sides of the plate. Lefties in particular hitting .212 against him, but righties are .226. So in trying to put a lineup together, there really isn't an advantage one way or the other. A slight advantage, but .226, that's not saying much.
No, but when you see splits like that, you just know the guy's got good stuff. So Bourgeois is doing the best he can to stay in the back of Sale's mind, which is good. Take your thoughts off the hitter. Gordon, he'll hurt you.
Three and two. Missed badly with his last 2 fastballs. Either very high and over the plate or high and inside to Alex.
Velocity's good there. That's 93. He can't touch 94, but 93 is perfect for him.
Alex will walk. So they're loaded up with one out. And now Billy Butler, who came up in the first inning with runners at first and third and one out and struck out. And he gets another shot here in the third. And that's Sale's first walk tonight. In addition to all the other impressive numbers, he's only walked 45 in 177 innings.
He's had a year. Billy Butler's 4 for 11 with the bases full. Has never hit in his career grand slam. Why not now?
He has 3 home runs against Sale. 7 hits and 21 at bats, so 333 with 3 home runs. Got around on that pitch, lines it to left. Viciedo makes the play. The Royals will get a run on the sacrifice fly. Billy drives in his 98th of the year, and the Royals lead 1-0.
He was ready. First pitch. Like that. Want to be aggressive. A lot of guys try to come right at you. First pitch, bases loaded. He did Billy. And he didn't square it up. But he hit it far enough and deep enough to bring Bourgeois home. I thought I was going to fall in front of it.
And that's a winner, I believe, in the hot watch. Billy getting an RBI against Sale. Strike on Salvador Perez. Sal popped to short to end the bottom of the first inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Make that he grounded out to short first time up. And Perez, who earlier this homestand lost a 17-game hitting streak, which was a Royals record for a catcher, is now 0 for his last 8. And he's done well against Chris Sale. 5 out of 14. Blocked by Flowers. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like it how they're waiting him out. Second time through the order. Seems like the Royals have a lot better idea about Sale and what he's doing to him. They're recognizing that ball way outside that comes in that backdoor slider, and they're taking it for the most part, and they're not falling into his trap.
Two and two.
Yeah, there's the changeup. Haven't seen him use that one very much.
And got him looking at a fastball. The Sale has struck out 5, but the Royals score first on Billy Butler's sacrifice fly. 1-0 KC. The fourth inning, the Royals have a 1-0 lead, and he is the subject of our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. Who will be the American League Comeback Player of the Year? And these, we believe, are the top 4 candidates. Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, both from the White Sox, who had down years last year. The two middle guys had as much to do with injuries as anything else. Joe Mauer and Kendrys Morales. Morales didn't play at all in 2011. Now, last night, you thought that Adam Dunn would be the winner.
Yeah, as the more I think about it now, Morales didn't not only miss last year, but almost all of 10 as well. He got hurt early. He jumped on the plate after
May
that
or
walk,
June, right?
Yeah, walk-off homer. So he's missed a ton of time. And to come back in part-time play and have 20 homers, that's impressive. Although Adam Dunn, he's going to have over 40 home runs this year. And he didn't hit very many last year. So how many did he hit last year? We know that?
11.
Yeah.
He has 28 more home runs, and he has 48 more RBIs compared to last year. So it just depends on how you want to vote. Is it somebody coming back from a bad year or an injury-filled year? A little check swing, foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Adam Dunn also arrived with a big contract and a lot of hype. He's only been on the disabled list 1 time in his career. The pitch was very close, but low, 2-2. He's had his share of injuries over the years, but as far as going on the DL, this is a big-bodied guy. Only once, and that one time was 9 years ago. It was a thumb injury.
It's pretty good. Be that durable.
He's not one to make excuses, but I've always wondered, early last year he had an appendectomy. Now that can be done arthroscopically now. They don't have to open you up. And he didn't go on the DL. And I believe he never even went back to the minor leagues to rehab. And we're talking about a big, powerful hitter who's taking a big swing at the plate. I mean, I'd be afraid to pick up my suitcase after I got an appendectomy thinking my insides were going to come undone.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered how much that affected the rest of his season. I mean, you've got incisions in your abdomen, and you're coming back. I think he came back in like 10 or 11 days, and then you're going to take a full swing? Hello?
I'm going to go ask him tomorrow how he was able to recover from that. But Jacoby Ellsbury for the Red Sox, he won it Comeback Player of the Year last year, and he had injuries.
Right.
So I don't know if it has to do with just an off season or, like I said, Morales over a year and a half not playing. 5-6 screws in his ankle from a celebration at home plate after he hit a game-winning homer. He jumped on home plate and shattered his ankle.
Bruce's first walk tonight. Adam Dunn's 99th of the year. He leads the league in that category. So he's on for Paul Konerko, who flied to deep center field in the second. Bruce has been around, Konerko's been around, and now the career at-bats for Konerko against Bruce are really piling up. There's a lot of experience. And Konerko has 42 career at-bats against Bruce Chen. And just 9 hits, but 5 of the 9 hits are home runs.
Like,
2-0.
like to use that changeup there to see if he'll swing over the top of it and ground into his 14th double play. That's best case scenario for Bruce here.
And now 3-0. Bruce worked around a leadoff single in the first. A 1-out double in the second and a 2-out triple in the third. And Konerko takes a strike on 3-0. Alex Rios is on deck.
Konerko wasn't exactly sure at 3-0 what he was going to get, so he wasn't swinging. There's no need to. He's the same situation here, 3-1. It's a swing pitch. Dunn going nowhere at first.
And that's foul off the left field line. Contrasting styles, to say the least, tonight. Bruce Chen and Chris Sale in our Time Warner pitch speed comparison. Sale's been up to 94. Bruce has topped out at 89 so far. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Konerko walks, so back-to-back walks, and Bruce doesn't walk many. 42 all year with the 2 in this inning. 2 on, nobody out.
Yep, those are potential runs, especially with Rios and his power. Salvi's telling him, let's work him on the outer half. Let's keep the ball down and let's roll a pair here. Dave Island says if he's got to be able to use his fastball. Bruce does. He's got to use that. That sets up the other pitches. Establish it, use it early and throughout the game. 4-seam and 2-seam fastballs. Change eye levels. His changeup's a good pitch for him against righties. It goes down and away. But it's not as effective if he doesn't use his fastball. So he's got to pitch off of that fastball.
Yeah, that's the common misperception about a finesse type pitcher, is that his fastball isn't that important. That his changeup has to be on, his cutter has to be on, his curveball has to be on. But Ned Yost has been preaching that all year about Bruce Chen, that he needs that fastball. And that's hammered into left field, and the White Sox have the bases loaded with nobody out. Alex Rios is 2 for 2.
Okay, now that's a belt high fastball that Bruce was fortunate he didn't do more with that. Dunn's not going anywhere on a base hit. It has to be well placed gapper to score him. So they don't have the most speediest guys on base. But Bruce needs an out or 2. I think this early in the game, he'll give him a run for a double play.
He has already struck out Viciedo. And a breaking ball's in for a strike. So the situation would tell you that Bruce is up against the ropes here, but he thrives on a hitter's ego in situations like this. And there's a pop-up. Moustakas and Perez, and Moustakas makes the play. Hitter comes up with the bases loaded and thinking about big things. And when a hitter does that, more times than not against Bruce Chen, they're playing right into his strengths.
You're exactly right. Good pitchers have the knack of executing their pitches when they have to. And Bruce is quick to point that out. Says that's an out we'll take. Okay, he's looking at Salvi saying, on a comebacker to me, I'm coming to you. Bases are full. Me and you are working on a ball back to the mound.
So it's Ramirez with the bases loaded, 1 out, and he pops it up. Infield fly rule is called. Ramirez, that's the second time he's popped out to Hosmer tonight.
Ooh.
So there you go. A couple of hitters who got to pitch up, maybe muscled up a little more than they should have, and either ball leaves the infield. And now it's Flowers. Tyler Flowers. He popped up, fouled out to Perez in the 3rd inning. Batting at .228 this year. Big curveball drops in for strike 1.
Flowers, .298 hitter against lefties this year, and 5 of those 7 home runs have come off lefties. He's got a little pop. Bruce wants to make sure he keeps it down, although he's had success pitching up with pop-ups here.
Line foul, and it's 0-2.
Way ahead in the count, 0-2. Don't want to give him anything too good.
And we'll do it again. Adam Dunn walked. Paul Konerko walked. Alex Rios singled. That loaded him up with nobody out. But Viciedo fouled out. Ramirez has popped out. And now Bruce is ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Curveball. Got him looking. And Bruce Chen works himself in and out of a mess in the 4th inning. Baseball is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealer and by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Bruce Chen works out of the bases loaded, nobody out. He gets 2 pop outs and a strikeout, and the Royals lead 1-0 as they bat in the bottom of the 4th. 4 scoreless innings for Bruce, 3 strikeouts. The Royals run coming last inning on Billy Butler's sacrifice fly. Royals had the bases loaded, 1 out in the 3rd and got 1. Moustakas struck out against Sale his first time. 2 balls, no strikes. Chris Sale has struck out 5 in his 3 innings and has walked 1. In on Moustakas' hands, but strong enough to get it all the way to the foul pole and just foul.
It's tight down the line there. Moose was going hard. He looked like it's fair, but hard time telling on that angle. Yep, it hit foul by plenty.
Three and 1. And that's hit hard down into the right field corner. And Mike Moustakas is at second base with nobody out.
Moose, 30-second double, 3-1 count. He's looking for that fastball now. Sale did a good job of locating it down in the zone. If that was elevated, Moose might have hit a homer. But he was looking dead red. Got it. Leadoff double. Let's see what Frenchie can do.
Oh, and 1 on Francoeur. He struck out in the second inning.
And that wasn't a I'm going to move you over swing either. He looked like he was trying to give that ball a drink in the fountain. He's got 5 home runs out of his 13 off lefties.
The pitch didn't appear to be a strike, and it's 0-2. Well, it's still early, but Chris Sale, who has only allowed a .222 opponent's batting average all year, one of the best in the league in the top 4. The Royals already have 5 hits against him in 3+ innings. Again, chasing a pitch up and out of the strike zone. Look at all the chances the White Sox have had in the first 4 innings against Bruce Chen. 1 hit with runners in scoring position, and that was with runners at first and second, and a run did not score. Walked by Flowers, 1-2.
Hey, that's the pitch there Sale wanted Frenchie to swing over the top of. Frenchie been swinging at everything. He thought he could try to leave one short. 2 strikes ideally with nobody out. Situation calls to try to move that runner if you can. Shorten up your swing some. Move him over to third.
And he pulls it. Moustakas will go to third because there's nobody there. So Youkilis came way over to the hole. So did Ramirez. So a good read by Moustakas. And that means a productive out for Francoeur.
Yeah, good heads up by Moose. Can advance on this. It was a breaking ball. Frenchie just did all he could to try to put it in play.
Now the White Sox bring the infield in for Hosmer.
Boy, a big breaking ball. And that's what he's going to see. Most up. Going to have to do all he can to keep that front side closed. It's that front foot. That's the key for Hosmer and most guys, but especially against left-handers.
Oh, and 2. Hasn't really had a good swing yet.
Second time he struck him out the first time up, second time through here.
Now they want to pitch down and away again, and it caught some of the plate but stays on the infield, and Ramirez makes the play. So Sale really had Hosmer swinging on his terms
from the very first pitch. And when you swing at a pitch like that far out of the strike zone, they're going to keep throwing it there. He found too much of the plate. Flowers, his catcher, didn't want it there. You see how he had to reach back over the plate and get it. Hosmer tried to push it out there, but definitely trying to pull him.
Look at that. Wow, you're talking about almost 200-point difference for Sale. Going to get him when he's behind in the count, but when he's ahead in the count, that batting average is so small you can hardly see it.
He has good put-away pitches.
Two 2-0 on Giavotella. Johnny fouled to first in the third inning. Mike Moustakas with a leadoff double. Advanced to third on Francoeur's ground out. Great pitch over the outside. 2-1.
Okay, 2-0. That's a good spot, 2-0. Although hitters be looking to hit that pitch. Big hole up the middle for Johnny.
Hit hard to center field. De Aza is shallow. De Aza back to the warning track to make the play. So it wasn't as dramatic as Bruce Chen in the top of the 4th inning. But Sale gets around a leadoff double in the bottom of the 4th.
Ups and a called third strike to get out of the jam and preserve the shutout to this point. Bruce starting a day earlier than expected, but on his regular rest, and that happened with the off day. But then Luis Mendoza, who was supposed to go strep throat. The latest now is that Mendoza threw a light side session, light workout today, tentatively scheduled to start on Friday. That would mean tentative plans for Will Smith on Saturday, and Jake Odorizzi would then get his first start in the big leagues on Sunday. We saw Odorizzi in the bullpen, guys, the last couple of nights as a possibility to get an inning or two, but he was saying that he'd be back in the dugout. Jake threw a 30-pitch bullpen session, normal pen today. Said it felt pretty good, and then he'll throw another one on Friday. Figures he'll be a little bit more amped up by then, and then Sunday, first big league start, expects, he says, about 10 family members, and who knows, people are already buying tickets. He said it could be up to about 50 from over in Highland, Illinois, over on the St. Louis side, guys.
All right, thanks, Joel. As Beckham is out on a pop-up to Salvador Perez. Gordon Beckham is 0 for 2.
He's got him popping up.
Also coming up during the weekend series with Cleveland, the last Fireworks Friday of the year, and we're pulling out all of the stops. A Fireworks Finale Spectacular presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. It's also a buck night, so hot dogs, peanuts, and soft drinks are just $1. That's Friday night against the Cleveland Indians. Royals.com or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Now the way by De Aza, who is 2 for 2 with a single and a triple.
Joel uses a good word of a name of a guy, Houdini. Houdini was a famous magician back in the day, disappearing acts and doing all kinds of things he used to do. He's famous, and he's right. Bases loaded, no outs against the White Sox. I didn't think Bruce was going to be able to get out of it, but like Joel said, he pulled a Houdini act on him.
It's not quite bolting yourself in a steel box and being dropped in the ocean and getting out of it.
No, but he got out of it.
But in the baseball world, it's close.
Popped up another guy. Yaza.
Now Youkilis, he is struck out and grounded to third. And Bruce throws strike one. Kevin Youkilis is hitting .233. Batting average has actually been lower with the White Sox than it was with the Red Sox at .238 for Boston. But he's given the White Sox some power. He's hit 19 home runs this year, and 15 of those have been with Chicago. One and two.
Last 3 games that the White Sox and Royals have played have been 1 run. It's decided by 1. So we're not shocked right here with this score.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Meantime, Detroit's up 4-0 on Oakland.
Got jammed, and Escobar makes the play. Kevin Youkilis is 3 out of 34 against the Royals this year, and 0 for 3 tonight. Come on out, let's celebrate the upcoming fall season. Oktoberfest is this Friday. We'll have an exclusive pregame event on the Budweiser patio where you'll enjoy German beer samplings, a select menu of German tastings, and great giveaways courtesy of Budweiser. Tickets are just $25, and that includes a seat out in that right field box. Go to Royals.com/Oktoberfest for tickets. 1-0 Royals, bottom of the 5th. Billy Butler's sacrifice fly is the difference. Bourgeois scored the run. With 1 out, he singled. He is 1 for 2 tonight. That ball's hit well to left field, but righted Viciedo. And there is 1 out in the 5th. Royals with 5 hits in the first 4 innings against Chris Sale. It was tough first time through. A little bit easier second time through, and 256. Now that looks like a big number compared to the first 2 times through the order, but that's not a very big number.
It's not, and that's where we are, 3rd time through.
Talking earlier about the White Sox, and it wasn't really a hard number, but just a number that was thrown out there as far as how many innings they hoped that Chris Sale would pitch this year. 150 to 160 as Escobar's bat breaks. The ball dies on the mound, and no play for Ramirez. Now Cetus Escobar is 3 for 3. As Sale, similar to Roger Clemens in the 2001 World Series, just flinging the bat over toward the first base line. Remember when Clemens did that to Piazza?
Yeah, he threw it right at Mike. This one Escobar was already at first. He's just trying to throw the bat off the field. But you're right. It brought back some memories. Now, that's the third hit. All of them up the middle for Escobar. The last one hit off of the back of Sale's heel. So Esky knows where the biggest hole is on the diamond, right up the middle.
And now Escobar runs. Flowers' throw is right on the bag, but Escobar gets his foot in front for his 29th, make that 30th stolen base of the year.
Okay, I like a lot about that slide. That slide is perfect. That's a late slide. You go in late. It's a pop-up slide, and it appears to the umpire that you're already there before you are. I love that slide. No head first. Not going to overslide the base, but you slide late and you pop up. You're already coming up before you even hit the base. So it appears to the umpire that you're safe. Love his sliding on his bottom. That's really a nice slide.
It's 0-2 on Alex. Alex singled in the first, walked in the third. Royals have now had 7 base runners against Chris Sale in 4 1/3 innings. And Alex is the 6th strikeout victim of Sale tonight. 2 down in the 5th inning. Now Sale and Billy Butler. Billy hit a line drive, sacrifice fly to left in the third. Sale struck him out in the first. Billy has a 10-game hitting streak. And during that 10-game hitting streak, not just getting hits, but also RBIs. He's driven in 10. And he has an RBI tonight. And Billy takes a fastball below the knees, ball 1. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, we heard from Billy Butler on Hy-Vee Royals Live about his season, and he's closing in on 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. Just looking at the numbers right now, players in the big leagues with a 300 or better batting average, 27 or more homers, 97 or more RBIs. Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun, and Billy Butler.
Wow. He grounds out to short to end the bottom of the 5th inning. So the Royals are scoreless, but at the end of 5, they have a 1-0 lead. The 1-0 lead at the top of the 6th inning. Bruce Chen with 5 scoreless innings and got out of a bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th.
Sure did. And you know what? It never gets old watching Bruce create pitches, different arm angles, changing speeds. And those right-handed batters that we talked about that he's had a hard time with this year, so far tonight just 2 for 14 and 1 walk against righties.
And lefties 2 for 4 with a walk. You'll get a left-hand batter, Adam Dunn, to lead off the 6th. And Dunn hits it off the moon. And Moustakas over to the White Sox dugout for the out. Dunn is 0 for 2. Here's tonight's AT&T trivia question. Who are the only 4 pitchers to lead the Royals in wins for 3 straight years? And Bruce, I believe, was the team leader in 2010 and 2011 with 12. He has 10. So who would he be joining? 3 Royals pitchers have led the team in wins for 3 straight years.
Buddy Black, Bud Black, Brett Saberhagen, Mark Gubicza, and Charlie Leibrandt.
Bud Black, Brett Saberhagen, Mark Gubicza, and Charlie Leibrandt.
Just guesses.
Yep. And that's over Moustakas. Alex to the corner, and the ball gets away from him. So Konerko has a double. And if Alex plays that cleanly down in the corner, it's a winner in the hot watch.
Well, it was a tough chance for him down there. He tried to get to it before it hit to the wall, so the timing wasn't exactly like Gordon planned, but it ended up hitting the wall before he got to it. Moose didn't quite have enough hang time to glove it.
I'm going single and an error.
No way. I like how he stayed with it. And he still made a throw in there in case Konerko slipped or fell down. He would have had another assist.
Yeah, but I had Bruce not giving up an extra base hit to Konerko in the hot watch.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
See, sometimes you get so hung up on what you've got in the hot watch. You know, some of us play too, you know.
That's right. We need to show the hot watches out there. Maybe the fans can get in on it as well.
22nd double for Paul Konerko. Now, your selections were good ones, but my instinct tells me that some of those would be impossible because a lot of those guys you mentioned played there together at the same time. It'd be hard to lead the team in 3 straight years. I could be wrong. You got to throw Split in there, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, throw him in.
Since he has the most wins in Royals history.
How about Monty? Is Monty there?
Monty does not have the wins, but he's here. We have 4 guesses. Monty?
Go ahead.
I got to go with Kevin Apier and Paul Splittorff come to mind for me.
Yep.
One of the first guys and one of the last guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Apier as well.
We were thinking maybe Larry Gura. And who else were we thinking?
What about Dennis Leonard?
And Dennis Leonard was the other one that we had, Leo.
How about Jeff Suppan?
Monty wants a Paul Bird vote.
Wow.
There's going to be one in there that's going to be less obvious.
Horacio Ramirez. No.
No. We're all missing one name.
We got 3 out of 4. We just don't know which 3.
Yep.
It's getting more complicated.
Comebacker to Bruce. Alex Rios is out for the first time. One last shot. Who are we missing? Well, give us a hint. Give us an era. Truck. He is a current pitching coach.
It's not Bob. Well, Bob McClure's not a current anymore.
Okay, he was at the beginning of the year. So was it Bob McClure? Okay. What pitching coach? Other pitching coach had been let go this year.
Monty said Tim Belcher, but he was not at the start of the year.
But he was not at the start of the year. He was pitching coach last year.
That's a bad clue.
Yeah.
I think that's a winner.
But we won. Tim Belcher. Good job, Monty.
Now we threw out a lot of names. Do we want to come together here on what the fours should be? Are we going to go split?
Split.
Okay, split. Tim Belcher.
Apier.
Kevin Apier.
Who's the fourth?
Belcher.
We already got Belcher. Belcher, Kevin Apier, Paul Splittorff. Gooby?
No. I don't think it's Gooby. Have we taken a step back?
We've gone backward. All right, let's just see the answer.
Yeah.
Leo, Jeff Suppan. Everybody in the booth laughed at me when I said Jeff Suppan.
Swanee didn't.
Ron Swan, our high home cameraman, kind of tilted his glasses down at me, you know, like when you go to the principal's office and you try and come up with a good excuse as to why you TP'd the girls' bathroom in junior high school. Kind of gave me that look with his glasses when I said Jeff Suppan. I was right. Yeah. Boy, that's a bad looking swing.
Bruce will make you look that way. You can't guess with him. And let's give Salvador Perez some credit while we're talking good about Bruce, too. Salvador Perez got that game plan before the game, and he's executing it to the fullest.
Three balls, two strikes. Viciedo was a big out for Bruce in the fourth. The White Sox had the bases loaded, nobody out. Viciedo fouled to third. Ramirez popped to first, and Flowers struck out. And you know Viciedo wants to make up for that here with Konerko at second base, two down. And he pops it up. Bruce calls for it, and Perez makes the play as Bruce falls backward. It would have been a much easier play for him, but it's in the Major League rule book. Punished to the fullest extent of the law if you allow a pitcher to catch a pop-up. Kansas City. A $15 ticket includes $10 in loaded value and access to a pregame party. And it's not just any pregame party. It will feature DJ Ashton Martin at the Captain Morgan Bar starting at 6 o'clock.
There's Captain Morgan in the stands.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he thought singles night was tonight and dressed up like Captain Morgan. So we hope that he'll come back tomorrow. Perez is out. He's 0 for 3. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Carmen Marhart from Omaha. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Carmen wins $400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Carmen wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Mike Moustakas is 1 for 2 with a double tonight. Now going the other way, and that is a foul ball. 1-1. The only run tonight, a Billy Butler sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning, scoring Jason Bourgeois. Both teams have left 6 on base. One ball, 2 strikes. Mike Moustakas' batting average is down this year compared to last year, but with this double, he has 14 more doubles this year, 15 more home runs, and 39 more RBIs. And Sale strikes him out for a 2nd time, and for Sale, that's 7 tonight. 2 down in the 6th inning.
Okay, let's keep in mind that double he hit, it was a 3-1 count, so he was able to get ahead of Sale. Sale had to come in there, but he was 1-2 there, and he got another slot pitch to hit. So key is see if you can get ahead of Sale, make him fall behind.
Ball went inside to Francoeur. Kelvin Herrera appears to be getting ready for the 7th inning. Two and 0.
Okay, now Frenchie's saying, all right, I got him where I want him. Look for a pitch out over the plate, drive one.
2-1. Or 3 balls, no strikes. Francoeur's grounded to short and struck out. Green light, 3-0, and now 3 balls, 1 strike.
Okay, Frenchie's choking up on that bat now. He feels like that's giving him a little bit more control of it.
Beckham throws from the grass, and Konerko digs it out of the dirt. Well, Chris Sale goes 6 innings. Bruce Chen has gone 6 innings. A 1-0 game to the 7th. Royals baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. Now with 24 KC Metro locations, visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. By Thoroughbred Ford. The best deals on new Fords are at thoroughbredford.com. And by AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Still 1-0 Royals as we go to the 7th inning. We saw Kelvin Herrera warming up as the Royals batted in the 6th, but Bruce Chen, with just 90 pitches, will begin the 7th inning facing the lower third of the order. And a curveball for a strike to Alexei Ramirez, who has popped to Hosmer at first twice. Ramirez now just 3 out of 30 in his career against Bruce Chen, a 100 batting average.
You know, I know a lot of fans, including myself, appreciate the way Bruce competes. He has a #1 starter mentality. Now, he may not have #1 stuff, but he thinks like a #1. And that's important. He gets that ball before he starts the game. He believes he's going deep into the game, and he's going to help his team win. He's going to execute his pitches and do everything he can to shut him down, which is evident by that no-out, bases-loaded jam that he got out of in the 4th inning.
And Ramirez was the second out in that inning with the pop-up. Perez wants the pitch up, and it's down and away. Ramirez lost his bat and claimed that he made contact, and Tim Timmons, a home plate umpire, says that he did.
Bounced. So Salvi, he before the pitch wanted the ball up. Looked like he wanted a high fastball he's calling for, and then Bruce threw him a slider in the dirt.
Well, maybe some sort of a decoy move, because yeah, that target was up above his mask before the pitch came in. And Ramirez pulls it foul, still 2-2. Bruce has now gone at least 6 innings in his last 7 starts, and in 8 of his last 9 starts. Another foul ball. Three and two. The Royals do not believe that Alexei Ramirez is going to hit the ball the other way. Outfield pulled over to the left, and right center field is wide open. We'll play a football game in between Francoeur and Bourgeois.
He's got a good AB going here. Trying to wait Bruce out.
On the ground to Moustakas, who gets a nice big hop. Over to Hosmer, 1 away. Here are the lines for the 2 lefties tonight. Chris Sale, 6 innings, 1 run. Bruce Chen, 6 1/3, no runs. Bruce now at 100 pitches. Sale at 93 in his 6 innings. Sale with the big advantage with strikeouts. He has 7.
He's younger and throws a little bit harder, but Bruce has pretty much matched him.
Flowers has struck out and fouled out to Salvador Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tyler Flowers, first drafted by the Braves in the 33rd round. Not a round that usually leads to a player getting to the big leagues. And he's got his first major league hit against the Royals. That was in 2009. And then last year he hit his first major league home run against the Royals. Still 1-2.
A lot of pop-ups tonight Bruce has been inducing. He's changing speeds. They don't know what to look for. And when you don't throw hard, your left side of the infield is going to get a majority of the action. Especially with all those right-handers stacked in there.
And Flowers strikes out. So all those foul balls, he fouled out 4 in a row, and he finally got a pretty hittable pitch, and he let it pass.
That's what I'm saying. Bruce lulls him to sleep up there. Especially takes advantage of when hitters start thinking, and they start trying to guess with him. That's why you can't guess with Bruce. You have to zone him, and that was in a good hitting zone. Flowers has got to go.
And now a curveball for a strike to Gordon Beckham. Beckham 0 for 2. He is hitting .238, but he has 16 home runs, which is a new career high. He has a home run in his career against Bruce, and now Bruce is at 108 pitches. You know, it makes sense when you're facing a left-hand pitcher to stack the lineup with all righties. But Bruce Chen is actually better against righties than he is lefties. And so maybe this was a night that the White Sox should have played A.J. Pierzynski and not gone with Flowers.
Especially A.J. A.J. has good numbers against Bruce. 417 A.J. hits off of Bruce, and that's pretty good sample size. 36 at-bats. He's got 15 hits.
3-2 on Beckham.
But Ned Yost had Herrera ready in case Bruce ran into any trouble early in this inning. And looks like Bruce is taking care of it here.
Another foul ball. When Bruce faced the Angels on Friday, he faced 9 right-hand batters, with all the switch hitters moving over to the right side. And now 7 of the 9 tonight bat right-handed. Fouled back by Beckham. I remember when Mark Burley broke into the league and quickly became one of the better left-hand pitchers, and teams would do the same thing. They just go right-handed hitter after right-handed hitter, but his cut fastball would just wear out the right-handers, and then teams started countering that by putting lefties in the lineup. Now Beckham will walk. That's Bruce's third, and that might be the end of the line. And Ned Yost is out. Alejandro Diaz is coming up. He has 2 hits against Bruce, and Ned's going to be making a pitching change, and Bruce will head to the first base dugout with a very warm and a very loud ovation. Chevy called to the bullpen. Kelvin Herrera in, and here comes Bruce Chen. Tips his cap to the umpire, and now the crowd stands and cheers into the dugout. Bruce Chen is out after 6 2/3 great innings tonight. No inning was better than the fourth, and as promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Boy, it's great to watch a pitcher on top of his game, especially when he gets in trouble with the bases loaded. He walked a couple of guys in the fourth inning, then the base hit by Rios, and then he proceeded to mess up the rest of the hitters the rest of the way. Retired the next 3 and got out of it. And now he hands the ball over to Herrera. See if Herrera can finish it, at least for a few more innings.
71 appearances for Kelvin Herrera. That leads the Royals. 3 more appearances than Tim Collins. He gets Alejandro De Aza with a runner at first, 2 down. De Aza's had a good night. He singled in the first. He tripled in the third. But the Royals have kept him away from home plate. He hasn't scored. Gordon Beckham with a 2-out walk, and that was the last man that Bruce Chen faced. And De Aza into center field for his 3rd hit. Beckham is going to try for 3rd on Bourgeois, and the throw comes in late, and fortunately De Aza does not advance, and the White Sox have runners at first and third.
De Aza with a short, quick swing got his 3rd hit. But the fastball he was looking for, it was elevated. And Bourgeois threw it, and fortunately that ball didn't get by Moose.
Now Kevin Youkilis 0 for 3. 3 out of 34 against the Royals. He has struck out, grounded out, and popped out. Now De Aza takes off. Youkilis fouls it back. Herrera running it up there at 99 miles an hour. Youkilis has only faced Herrera once, and Kelvin struck him out. One and one. Chicago White Sox in the second half of the season have been making a habit of being a come from behind team. They did it again last night. The Royals had a 2-1 lead in the first, but Chicago won it 3-2. They have 22 come from behind wins since the All-Star break, and that's the most in the American League. Now Youkilis down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, that's a strong characteristic to have for a player, especially Ventura in his first year. I mean, for a team to have, because that always believe you're going to come back in any game. Royals need to somehow muster up a few more runs, put more pressure on the White Sox to come back, as Detroit's up 6-0 in the 9th.
Herrera gets Youkilis again. The Royals get Youkilis again. The White Sox strand 2. They left 8 on base. Still 1-0 Royals. 0 Royals to the bottom of the 7th as we take a look at tonight's AT&T Uverse Reverse replays. Or after the next pitch. Just wanted to get you ready for it.
All right.
Here we go. As promised.
Sale. Sailing along. Outside of that one sack fly by Billy Butler, he's been doing a pretty good job. Now Hosmer gets a base hit.
He's going to try for 2. De Aza doesn't have much of an arm. And Hosmer's at second base with nobody out. And Hosmer really didn't look good at all against Sale in his first 2 at-bats. And he made the most out of that ground ball. And may have injured himself. He's grabbing his right side after that slide.
Well, I tell you, that is the true definition of a hustle double. Because it was a ball not struck well, but it was a ball he could handle out over the middle. And he just kept going. And the throw went past the second base bag, and Sale dove for it. So they've been able to get Sale on the ground. Of course, he dove for it to try to stop the ball from going back to the catcher. So Sale's got him some Kaufman grass stains.
Outside to Giavotella, who at the very minimum needs to get Hosmer over to third. Johnny is flied out to deep center. A Kauffman Stadium fly out to deep center. Could be a home run in many other ballparks. And he's also fouled out to first.
Yeah, hit a ball 410 feet and got nothing but an out for it.
1-1. Hosmer will run. He has 15 stolen bases. It's only been thrown out once, and we learned last year that he has no fear on the bases. He will try and take third base. And now might not be the time, the ideal time, unless the White Sox completely forget about him. And Ramirez playing right behind him, trying to keep him close. And that's inside. 2-1 on Giavotella.
Gio hitting 275 now with runners in scoring position. He's been up in that mark recently. His 12 RBIs, like to make 113.
Three balls, one strike.
Okay, right here you got to be looking to swing. If it's a pitch out over like you like, fastball straight, drive that run in.
Sale will be making his 100th pitch, and the White Sox are ready in the bullpen. Giavotella lost the grip. 3-2. Mentioned Bruce Chen tonight going at least 6 innings for his 7th consecutive start, and now 8 of his last 9. Well, Chris Sale. And to me, this is the most remarkable thing about his season, is the innings he's pitched. He's gone at least 6 innings in 19 of his last 20 starts, and he averages, this is a guy who didn't make 1 start all of last year. He averages 6 2/3 innings per start.
Yeah, he's had an amazing summer, no question.
And Giavotella strikes out. Tough pitch. 8 strikeouts for Chris Sale. 1 down in the 7th.
Okay, he went with a 3-2 hook, and it was a good pitch too. Good spot for him down low, and tip your hat to the location.
A little bit high to Bourgeois. who gets to see Sale for a 4th time. He had never faced him before tonight. Both pitchers have done very well with runners in scoring position tonight. Two teams are a combined 1 for 19. Bourgeois flied out in the first inning, but singled in the 3rd and lined to left in the 5th. So he's had 2 good swings and 3 at-bats.
So far, he's 4 for 10 this year with a runner in scoring position.
And he'll shoot one the other way. 1-2.
Fan had that ball all lined up till it got close to him and he ducked. He says, you know what? I think I'll pass on that.
Good decision.
Yeah, he's laughing it off now.
And Bourgeois hits it on the ground to Beckham. 2 down. Hosmer goes to 3rd. Coming up on Saturday, it's Fan Appreciation Night, where we salute you, the fans, for your loyalty and support this year. It's the Royals and the Indians, and you'll enjoy a night of games, giveaways, and great prizes. The first 20,000 fans will also receive a Royals fleece blanket presented by Sprint. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. And the White Sox will not mess around with Alcides Escobar. It's a bit odd to pitch around Escobar to get to Alex Gordon. But Escobar is 3 for 3 tonight, and he's 30 out of 63 against the White Sox this year. So they have decided no more opportunities for Alcides Escobar.
That's right. After an 0 for last night, somebody had to pay today. Now, this is just his 2nd intentional walk of the year. Makes him feel good, though. He's saying, all right, you guys going to do that to me? I'll have to rip off a base with 2 outs then. Ready to face Gordon here.
And now Robin Ventura. And he's going to. He stuck out his thumb and his pinky, and he may be telling the home plate umpire that his phone isn't working in the bullpen. And there's the universal sign from the bullpen coach, Juan Nieves, taking his cap off and sticking it in the air. That means the pitchers are warmed up and ready to go. And so Robin Ventura is first going to inform Tim Timmons, a home plate umpire, that the phones don't work before he goes to the mound.
Timmons is telling Ned. And Ned's saying, hey, look, you know, why don't you take the receiver off, do a couple clicks on the line, get it working.
And now Tim Timmons will talk to Mark Parent, White Sox bench coach. Nate Jones is warmed up and ready to go.
Might be saying we need a phone guy down there. That's it. Play with it a little bit.
Yeah, bang on it a few times.
Yeah,
it's like the old pay phones, you know, and when you wouldn't get your dime back.
Right. Now there's another telephone next to it too.
So Sale and Gordon. Alex going out of the strike zone, 0-1. Alex singled first time up, walked in the 3rd, and then he struck out in the 5th. One ball, one strike. Chris Sale is at 111 pitches.
He does have 6 wild pitches. Hosmer can be ready to bounce in case anything does bounce at the plate.
Alex lays off this time, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. Hosmer opened the inning with a hustling double. And with 2 down, an intentional walk to Alcides Escobar. Driven to left field, deep. Viciedo at the track, didn't catch it. The Royals are going to get 2 runs out of it. He was there, he just missed it. And the Royals, instead of being done with the inning, have a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th.
2 more 2-out RBIs. How about that? Gordon, he put a charge into it. So Viciedo, he took the right route, and he was right on it like you said. But he couldn't bring it down. Yeah, he didn't stretch out his arm quite far enough. Got a good jump and everything, and boy, I'll tell you, that was a huge, big 2-out RBI double for Gordon.
So it scored a double, his 49th, and RBI 66 and 67, and that's it for Chris Sale. So Nate Jones has a Chevy call to the bullpen. Royals with a 3-0 lead in the 7th.
Kauffman Stadium, and the Royals have actually had some moves against Chris Sale this year. Sale is 2-1 against the Royals, but check this stat out, guys. He exits here with 8 hits. In 4 games this year, only 4, the Cy Young candidate has allowed 8 or more hits. 4 times. All 4 of those games against the Royals. And she continues.
Yeah, no more cotton candy, please.
Alex Gordon hitting his 49th double, driving in Hosmer and Escobar with 2 outs. So Nate Jones comes on, and he'll get Billy Butler. Billy drove in the first run of the game in the bottom of the 3rd, and it was the only run of the game until Gordon's double here in the 7th.
Okay, tune that bat up. That last pitch was 100. He will go curve, slider, and a change too. He's got different pitches. That fastball gets on you in a heartbeat. the Chicago's relievers, they've been excellent. Just a 0.60 ERA last 5 games. So they've been hot as a group down there last 5.
2-2. Billy is 1 for 4 against Jones, and the hit was a home run. To Beckham, and that's the inning. Eric Hosmer doubles. The White Sox walk Alcides Escobar to get to Alex Gordon, who hits a 2-run double. Royals lead 3-0.
Home Depot doing more on defense. He'll show you David Lowe last night. That was spectacular. That play made all the highlight reels in the world, and he was the star on that play. And Hoach says, yeah, I'll take that kind of defense. Got a lot of love from his teammates and a lot of love by the national media.
And right now, all the love being directed at Alex Gordon, a 2-out, 2-run double, putting the Royals in front 3-0. And now the White Sox are down to their last 6 outs on offense. And here in the 8th, they'll be facing Kelvin Herrera, Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, Alex Rios. In the bullpen, most of the glory goes to the closer. He gets that important stat, the save. But he doesn't always have the most difficult inning. He does as far as pressure goes, but the 9th isn't always the most difficult as far as the hitters that you face. And this might be the more difficult inning, with 39 home runs, 23 home runs, and 24 home runs coming up for the White Sox in the 8th. Dunn rolls it over to Hosmer. Herrera's to the bag, 1 down. Adam Dunn is 0 for 3. The Royals coat drive at Kauffman Stadium is set for tomorrow and Friday. You can drop off items outside of the Diamond Club from 6 to 8 p.m. Fans are encouraged to donate blankets, coats, and winter accessories to benefit Safe Home. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets, as Jeremy Guthrie will pitch for the Royals and Francisco Liriano for the White Sox. And in the theme of charity, you may have heard yesterday that Alex Gordon was nominated as the Royals representative for the Roberto Clemente Award, and he and his wife Jamie joined Joel during Ivy Royals Live. Alex giving most of the credit to Jamie. Off the end of the bat, shallow center, Bourgeois runs it down.
Yeah, and they're also big in this coat drive tomorrow. So you folks that have any extra jackets around, you've cleaned out your closet, bring them in. A lot of folks out there can use it. Great grab there. Calhoun's got 2 quick outs.
And now Rios, 2 out of 3 tonight. Hard breaking ball is outside. Two and 0. Kind of spun off of that pitch, maybe overthrew the fastball.
But Herrera's his delivery is very compact. Not a whole lot to do wrong there. I mean, he just gets it, stays balanced perfectly over that rubber. And that strong arm, he generates from his lower half, but he really uses a lot of arm.
Third hit of the game for Alex Rios.
So Robin Ventura is going to go to a pinch hitter here.
And it will be Dwayne Wise. Viciedo was scheduled to hit. He's 0 for 3 and facing Kelvin Herrera. And Robin Ventura is going to go to a left-hand bat.
Wise, you see those career pinch hitting numbers, they're pretty good. Hit over 250 as a pinch hitter. That's a good mark.
And that's hit well into left center. Alex cuts it off. Rios is going to try for third. He is in there safely, and he did not come off the bag. So Wise is off the bench, and he delivers, and that brings the tying run to the plate.
Makes him 2 for 10 this year off that bench. In just a short amount of time he's been with the White Sox this season. But you know, pinch hitters, you're looking for that first pitch fastball. That's exactly what he was looking for, and he got it right where he wanted it. Gordon's eyes lit up. But Rios knew for sure when he made that turn at second that he could make it.
Cubs fans, they give up. Go White Sox. I don't know why they're so pessimistic. I mean, the Cubs are only 31 games out.
Another retooling season next year for him.
Ball 1 to Alexei Ramirez. Ramirez is 0 for 3. He is 3 out of 6 in the past against Herrera. One of those hits is a double. 1-1. Ball came up and got Salvador Perez. So Tim Timmons, home plate umpire, will walk the next ball out to Herrera, give Salvador a little extra time.
He says thank you for the extra time. Needed it. You know, Herrera throws 100 miles an hour. When the hitter tips that ball like that, sometimes it even picks up speed. So that's quite a shot when you get that foul ball and it hits off you no matter where.
1-2.
And think about that. That ball is thrown really hard and it's tipped. No wonder a lot of guys get hurt and umpires and catchers take care of themselves.
Really tied him up. So 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Okay, along with that fastball changeup combination, he's got a slider that he'll use. Haven't seen it yet.
Now Perez wants to go out and talk over the next pitch with Herrera. It started with 2 outs as Herrera retired Dunn and Canerco, and then Rios singled. Dwayne Wise coming off the bench singled. It was a 1-0 game until 2 outs in the 7th inning when, on a catchable ball in left field, Diane Viciedo didn't make the play, which resulted in a 2-run double for Alex Gordon. Herrera finishes off the White Sox with a strikeout. The White Sox strand 2 more. That's 10 for the game. To the bottom of the 8th, 3-0 KC.
Oh, that's a nasty, hard riding fastball.
To get out of the 8th, 3-0 Royals lead as Panera takes us around the league. Detroit, big win. So right now they're trying to gain some ground. Tampa all over Boston. Texas and LA are scoreless out west. 4 scores. New York wins both games of a doubleheader. Josh Willingham, 35th home run on the year. And somewhere out in Seattle, guys, after a long 18-inning, 5 hours and 44-minute game, the Orioles will be playing those guys. Let's take a look at the standings right now, updated after that win by Detroit. And the Subway surprise on the line standings, 2.5 games back of the White Sox. Could be 2 if the Royals close this out. Hey guys, one more thought. Mike Trout has really been the front runner as far as MVP goes, but right now Miguel Cabrera, who hit his 41st homer, 1 behind Josh Hamilton, leads the AL in average, leads the AL in RBIs. If he wins the Triple Crown, I think it's his.
I would hope so.
Well,
it'd be the first since 67, wouldn't it?
67, but, you know, people have talked about Trout doing things that guys haven't done since, you know, the Ty Cobb years.
I think Trout's chances will be severely damaged if the Angels don't make the postseason.
I would agree.
This is Brian Omagroso pitching for the White Sox, their 3rd pitcher tonight. Sale went 6 2/3. He gave up 3. Should have only given up 1.
He's got a hard fastball that he'll go 92, 95, sinker, 2-seamer, slider right there. Occasional changeups, but out of the pen like this, and he's just Omagroso. This is just his 14th inning this year.
And a base hit into center for Perez. He had been 0 for his last 10, now 1 for his last 1. And the Royals have the leadoff man on in the 8th.
Ball's around his ankles. He golfed that. Right where Flowers wanted. That ball was way down. Whoa, that's talk about using your hands. You just drop the head of the bat. Don't do anything else with your body. That's a complete hand swing.
Fouled away by Moustakas. He struck out twice against Sale, but he also doubled his 32nd of the year. One and one. To Konerko. He'll go down to second base for one. Ramirez back to first is a wild throw. And it did not go into the camera bay. The ball got wedged underneath the netting. And so Moustakas will move up 90 feet. So that'll be a fielder's choice. And then an error 6, allowing Moustakas to get to second base.
Yeah, Alexi rushed the throw. He was on his heels. And when you try to throw a ball off balance on your heels, you're taking a chance. And sure enough, Konerko was at first in plenty of time, and watch how far away this ball went from him. I think Konerko was maybe a little bit leery of getting into that line with Moose coming down the line.
Francoeur lifts it to center field. Moustakas goes back to second base as Wise makes a play, and he'll launch it all the way to third, but offline. 2 down, runner at third base. Eric Hosmer coming up. Well, fans, when the tornado struck Joplin last year, the Royals visited that community to encourage victims and help distribute food, clothing, and necessities. The Royals continue to support Joplin, and on Monday, Royals alumni and associates will work on 4 Habitat for Humanity homes and meet the families who live in the homes. This is yet another example of the generous community spirit of the Royals, and we look forward to sharing video from the home building with our viewers next week. Donnie Veal is the White Sox new pitcher. Royals lead 3-0, batting in the bottom of the 8th. Two down in the bottom of the eighth. 3-0 Royals. Donnie Veal is on to pitch for Chicago and on to face Eric Hosmer. Donnie Veal is the fourth White Sox pitcher tonight. Hosmer doubled, a hustling double leading off the seventh, and came around to score along with Alcides Escobar on Alex Gordon's 2-run double. So Hosmer is 1 for 3.
Veal's got a fastball, slider, change up to righties, but mainly just fastball, slider. He'll be throwing to Hosmer.
Back to Veal. Inning over. To the ninth. Greg Holland is coming on. The White Sox will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up.
Sox as they look to beat the Pale Hose for the 11th time this year. Jeff Montgomery and I will break it down on Boulevard Royals Live. Fairly successful night against Cy Young candidate Chris Sale. Bruce Chen able to escape some big jams. Same for Kelvin Herrera. And we'll get you ready for the series and season finale between the Royals and White Sox. Francisco Liriano against Jeremy Guthrie. Ryan?
And boy, has Jeremy Guthrie been good against the White Sox this year. He's faced them 3 times. He has pitched 23 2/3 innings, and he has given up 2 runs, and both of those runs were unearned, so no earned runs in 23 2/3 innings.
So this is important for Holland to do all he can to nail this one down. 85 strikeouts to 31 walks. He's been dominant. Lefties only hitting 196 off him. No homers. Righties 265, 2 homers.
And this is Orlando Hudson pinch hitting for Tyler Flowers. Flowers went 0 for 3 against Bruce Chen tonight. Hudson, who began this season with the Padres and then came over to the White Sox in an emergency situation. Brent Morrell, who has been the White Sox regular third baseman the past few years, was out with a back injury. White Sox needed some help at third. Hudson, a Gold Glove winner on the infield, played very little third base in his career. I mean, hardly at all. But he filled in until the White Sox made the deal to get Kevin Youkilis. One and two.
O-Dog, they call him. He's 0 for 2 off the bench for Ventura as a pinch hitter. Holland coming in blazing hard, mid-90s fastball, slider and a split finger. Both of those secondary pitches move down in the zone, and that's where he likes to stay. That's where you want to stay.
Where's the pitch? I don't know. Maybe he didn't swing, but looked like a pretty good pitch.
Must have been down.
Broken bat. Boy, that ball went skipping up the seats like a stone on a pond. And I think everybody's all right. I think the only injury was to Orlando Hudson's bat.
And his pride a little bit.
The bat was in fair territory.
It's kind of the direction he wanted the ball to go. Pierzynski's on deck, so he'll get his chance to pinch hit.
Three balls, two strikes.
Moose says, hey, look, it's got a jagged edge on it.
Another late swing. Holland is 13 out of 16 in save opportunities, but 2 of those blown saves came before he was closer. It's always an unfair statistic for anyone but the closer, because all you can get is a blown save. The closer gets the saves. Escobar calls out Moustakas, and Hudson is out at first. There have been many times where a setup man will get the job as a closer, and it's so easy to say, well, you know, in his career, gosh, he's only 3 out of 12 in save opportunities. Well, that's deceiving. I mean, you either get a hold or a blown save if you're a closer, if you're a setup man. But since he's become closer, he is 13 out of 14. A.J. Pierzynski had 2 hits. He's had another good year against the Royals. He's had a great year overall with 26 home runs, far and away a new career high for him.
He's 1 for 6 off of the bench with a homer. That 1 hit was a 2-run homer.
Down, no balls, 2 strikes. Pierzynski's hitting .360 against the Royals this year. Pierzynski's previous career high in home runs was 18. That was 7 years ago, the year the White Sox won the World Series, 2005. So 7 years later, he is 26. Did he go? Yes. Pierzynski just waves off. Third base umpire Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, he does it again. 2 down in the 9th. That's a swing.
He went after it.
And now Alejandro De Aza. The Royals as a team this year, they are 10th in the American League in ERA, so they hope to improve that next year. But if Holland gets the out here, it'll be the Royals' 12th shutout, and there are only 3 more teams in the league that have more shutouts than the Royals.
Angels got to be one of them.
1-1 on De Aza. The Angels lead the league. They have 16, followed by Tampa Bay 14, Oakland 13, And the Royals right now 11, trying to make it 12. Alejandro De Aza against Greg Holland. 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Two balls, 1 strike.
Hey, that split finger slider, it's hard to tell which one's which, but both of them really bite down hard. Salvi has a hard time controlling them.
Hit well to center field. Bourgeois was shallow. He's back. He gets turned around a couple of times. And that's a 4-hit game for Alejandro De Aza. And it keeps the White Sox alive in the 9th inning. Just a home run shy of hitting for the cycle tonight.
What a night. You know, you get a big hit like that dead center field off your closer. You must have got something you liked, and sure it was a fastball. Right down the middle, but he didn't try to do too much to that. He just put a good, easy, level swing on it, and when you're hot like he's been tonight, makes it easier for your last at bat. You're confident. You're going in there. You're looking for something out over.
That ties a career high for De Aza, a 4-hit game. Hoping he doesn't have a chance to complete that cycle. Like to end the game right now. Kevin Youkilis is a single, double, triple, and a home run shy of hitting for the cycle. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. One and one. Bruce Chen, 6 2/3 scoreless. Kelvin Herrera, an inning and a third. Greg Holland going for his 14th save. And now he's 1 strike away.
Boy, he looks extremely frustrated. He's just taking too many pitches. He's got a good eye, but when you're going bad, you need to be a little bit more aggressive at times. He's not being aggressive.
Francoeur to the line. He's got it. The Royals show their 12th shutout of the year. And for the 2nd straight season, Bruce Chen goes 3-1 against the Chicago White Sox. And with the way the games have gone for the Royals lately, all the 1-run and 2-run games, tonight is almost like a blowout, winning 3-0.
And how about Bruce Chen? Bruce Chen was awesome again, and he really dazzled him. He kept him in the ballpark. That's how you beat the White Sox. Keep them in the yard, use your defense, changing speeds. Good job by Herrera coming in. And Gordon with the finishing touches, and that 2-run double he hit was huge.
Second time this year that the Royals have shut out Chicago. So on the mound, Bruce Chen, Kelvin Herrera, and Greg Holland. And at the plate, Billy Butler drove in a run. Alex Gordon drove in 2. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
That's right, Ryan. And late in the game, they actually intentionally walked Alcides Escobar to get to Alex Gordon, and he delivered. Esky, for you first, you've really done well against the White Sox this year. What is it about Chicago that's allowed you to get so many hits?
You know, I'm focused all the time in my game, and I'm trying to do the best I can in the game. And I never think that he give me an intentional walk and when I face Gordon. That surprised me.
Never thought that you would see the intentional walk.
In the American League, that's my first time.
First American League intentional walk. What about it for not just you, but the Royals? I mean, do you guys feel comfortable against the White Sox? You've won against them 11 times now this year.
Yeah, I feel like really comfortable with the White Sox. I don't know, that's some different with the other team, but I see the all pitcher like very good.
All right, we'll let you go. Nice job tonight, Alcides.
Thank you.
All right, that is Alcides Escobar. Let's bring in Alex Gordon. And so you're standing there in the on-deck circle, and they decide that they want to intentionally walk Escobar for you. What are you thinking?
You know, he had a good night against Sale, and especially a lefty-on matchup. You know, it's a tough matchup for me. So the way he was swinging it, I would have did the same. And you know, I didn't want to take it anyway. I just wanted to, continue my approach and try to get a base hit right there.
Chris Sale, there's a very good chance that he could win the Cy Young Award this year. But only 4 times this year he has given up 8 or more hits, and all 4 have been against you guys. And I know he's beat you too, but is there any kind of approach that you've been able to take against him?
You know, just try not to do too much against him. You know, he's got great stuff, that nasty slider and a fastball that's kind of deceiving. So, you know, we just try to take a simple approach against him and not try to do too much, and it's worked out for us. Final
thing, this was looking like a 1-0 game for a while until you knock in those 2. How about the job that Bruce Chen did here?
Yeah, great job. Especially against the White Sox, tough offense, and he came out on a short rest and did a great job for us.
While I have you here, a big event tomorrow and Friday that maybe you might want to mention a little bit.
Yeah, the coat drive tomorrow, so people need to come out and support us, bring your coats and all that good stuff, and get an autograph as well. So donations will be great, and hopefully we can get a lot of support for the coat drive tomorrow.
Coats, jackets, donations, chaired by Alex and Jamie Gordon and the players and their wives. Great job tonight, Alex.
All right, thank you.
That is Alex Gordon as he delivers 2 big RBIs. We go back upstairs to Ryan and Rex.
All right, thank you, Joel. Another win for Bruce Chen against the White Sox, and Chris Sale, who is now 17-7. 3 of those losses have come against the Royals. We'll be right back.